following short article is from the Unionville Crescent, published October 22nd, 1926, and of course this was from Unionville, Michigan, and the story is titled "In the Dim Shadows of the Early Morning Curves and Corners Looked the Same." Everyone has heard how one will go round in a circle when lost, and that before they realize they are lost, familiar objects will present themselves to be repeated in view. That is an old story, but to hear one of our going around in a circle in an automobile is a new one. Two Unionville businessmen and their wives recently planned a vacation motor drive down to the metropolis of Michigan, which spreads all over the map and down in that locality. It was planned to get a good early start around about 2 a.m. To make the drive shorter, they drove out to Royal Oak to stay until the time for lighting out for Unionville. The wives wished to return home by the way of Pontiac, but no, Mr. Hubby, the driver of that bus, knew of a shorter way and a better way. He was going direct to Rochester, that town where Bill Ford went to dispense drugs for the old folks and ice cream for the kiddies. From there, he would make Orion, where that pleasant summer resort is located, and from there to Lapeer, and before they would hardly know it, he'd have the whole bunch landed in Unionville, ready for business. He knew this country from A to Z, best roads and shortcuts. It was a fine morning for driving, too, early and very little traffic. Things were just going to hum and move along. Stepping on the gas, the engine just hustled that limousine over the highway. Rochester was left in the distance. Orion came into view, and soon a big town could be seen, the big town of Lapeer, Michigan, and it must have come out to meet them, it seemed. A lone street cleaner, the only being on the street, was seen ahead. Somehow, the town didn't look just familiar, but of course, it was dark, and things never do look the same before daylight and moonlight shadows. Being somewhat in doubt, the driver stopped to inquire, "What town is this?" And the White Wing replied, "Pontiac." "Where would I go if I kept on going?" inquired the UBM. "Detroit," said the man with the broom. And the driver looked at his beloved wife and said, "Here's Pontiac, take a look." To his male companion and business friend, he said, "I always try to please my wife. It makes things pleasanter in this short life." Wife quietly commented, "You needn't have driven all around Robin Hood's barn to go through it. Here we've been traveling nearly 2 hours, and we've only made 11 miles on the road." Silence reigned supreme for several minutes as the car whizzed past the institution used for folk who don't do things a regular way.